Okay, so the name of my channel is Words of Wisdom with Miss Y. And today I really want to sit down. Now, my wisdom I feel like comes from God in my experience in life. I want to talk about co-parenting. Co-parent, but today I just want to focus on the woman. When you've divorced or you've separated or you no longer with the baby father or you was never with the baby father, but the baby father or the ex-husband, whomever, he's a good parent. Not by your standards, because you might not like everything he do or the way he does it, but he's taking care of the child. And I don't mean he might not always be financially taking care of the child, but he can pick the child up. He gets the child. He spends times with the child. He's not putting the child in harm's way. He's feeding the child. He got a new girlfriend. He got a new boo. You don't like her. So you find ways for the child not to go over there because you might be still hurt. Guess what? You ain't hurting her. She don't want your child to come anyway. What she's doing is over there enjoying your boo, your ex or whatever, on the phone with her girlfriend, talking about how she don't want to see your kids anyway. You hurt, but you over there scrambling, trying to figure out how to get a babysitter, how to do this, while they over there living life la vida loca. Now, I'm not saying the man is not hurt behind you not allowing him to see his kids, but he's learning how to cope. See, he can always have more kids. And a lot of times that's what happened. They go over there and they have kids with this new woman. Now you're mad because they're treating that child a certain type of way and you feel like they're not treating your child right, but you don't withhold your child. Now he mad. So stop withholding the child. Let them get those kids. I promise you. Every other weekend, every opportunity that man wants those kids, let him get those kids. Enjoy your life. You deserve to have a life just like he has a life. But a lot of times women are too bitter. You're too hurt. You're too busy dogging the man out. Stop dogging that man out in front of those kids. Stop allowing other people, I don't care who it is, your mama, whomever, dog those men out in front of your kids. That's their father. Regardless of how you feel about them, regardless of what you think about them, at the end of the day, that's their father. There's nothing that you got to show that child won't eventually see for themselves. And all the time, your reality of that man is not always a real reality. Sometimes you brought some toxicity to that relationship. And some of it came out because of what you did. But that ain't always the case. It doesn't matter if you were the perfect woman and you didn't do anything wrong and he cheated on you and he whatever, however, or you cheated. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, learn how to co-parent. We are hurting these kids. These kids are suffering. All because the adults refuse to get it right. No. Let his new boo, y'all don't have to be the best of friends, but y'all need to talk. That's where your kids are going to be. So you're not stressed out when they're over there worrying about her mistreating them or whatever. I promise you, you're not hurting her. She don't want your kids half of the time, okay? I'm just being honest. Now, when that man stands up and make a place for those kids in his home, yes, she's going to support that. And don't get me wrong, not all step parents are bad. I was one. I loved my stepchild. To this day, still do. But at the end of the day, you got to understand what's going on over there and what's going on with you. So while you scrambling, don't want the child to go over there, they're enjoying life. If the man ain't doing right and he don't want the kids, but the auntie want the kids, the grandma want the kids, do not deprive those kids of that. Matter of fact, you should be trying to foster those relationships. Reach out to those grandparents. Because guess what? It'll take some of that stress off of you. Because you feeling like you can't enjoy life. You can't do life. But you so focused and worried about his life. Stop worrying about his life. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about what he got going on. Don't worry about his new boo. Don't worry about none of that. Long as he treat those kids right. Don't ask those kids questions when they come back home. Long as they coming back home in one piece and you know this man is not putting your child in harm's way, stop worrying about him. Once again, you ain't hurt nobody but those kids. And it's time for us to stop hurting these kids. You say you love them kids? Well, you love them kids more than you hate whatever happened between you and that man. And that comes with you having to put on your big girl panties, accept that y'all are over, and move on. And let him have access to them kids. And stop trying to regulate what he do when he has those kids. As long as he's not putting them in harm's way. Now, for those y'all that got them crazy ex-husband and them horrible baby daddies, hey, you just stuck. But I will say this. Reach out to his family if he has decent family. If he got decent family, please allow that family to spend time with those kids. But no, I'm not telling you to put your kids in harm's way. But some of y'all, what y'all call it harm's way, ain't really harm's way. Because some of y'all exposing y'all kids and stuff on the internet far worse than anything the parent would do. But because you stuck in your feelings or your emotions, you making up stuff. Stop talking bad about that man in front of them kids. Them kids hear you talking about their daddy. You're not winning. I promise you. Cover them kids. Even when that man don't come through and do what he's supposed to do. Cover them kids. Even when that man is not paying you. Who cares? At the end of the day, we know we need money, but if he's still willing to come see them kids, don't withhold them kids. You're hurting them kids. I promise you this. Because what you think matter most to them kids is not what matters. Now, you go after that child support and you do what you got to do financially, but in the meantime, let them kids see their dad.